Hey, this is part 2 of my video I did about my quilt I made yesterday called Chic Country. I bought it from So Kind of Wonderful, and if you want to go to their website and just type in Chic Country, you can purchase that pattern. I think it's either you can get a physical copy or a PDF. I bought the PDF version. I can't give you, because I purchased the pattern, I can't give you the exact measurements and stuff, but I'm going to give you show you how I cut everything. So if you want to stay tuned and watch, and let me know your thoughts. And so yeah, I did record video, but I tried to spare you the agony of watching me cut it. But people asked, so here it is. Let me know what you thought. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to try to give you a play-by-play here, but right here I'm just trying to trim up my pieces so that they're all the same. Nothing spectacular here. I do lay them both sides on this one. Both sides are facing up. And I mark, I'm using a pen that I've started to liking called I think it's called Mark Be Gone. One side is heat erasable and the other one is water erasable. And I'm lining up my quick curve ruler on both my little dots that I made. And I'm going to do this sort of backwards right here. I recommend, I got the rotating mat. I don't know why I didn't use it here, but I should have rotated it around instead of trying to cut it sort of backwards here, but I did. It's easier because I'm right-handed to keep going the other direction, so. Ta-da, now that gets discarded, and then you have your two sides. Now here you want to turn your fabric over so both sides are facing down. That's going to give you a mirror copy of the one you just did. So I'm cutting two at a time here. That would give me two different squares. I'm trimming up my side. How exciting. Let's see if we do it this time. No, we're going to start off wrong right from the get-go. Yay for me. I did learn, this was early on when I first started cutting these out. I did learn early on to start reversing it and like this. This is the way I should cut them all. I always say start out a project with a fresh blade, especially on curves. Now here I'm making the back end of my piece. And look, I'm trying to deduct it. I'm like, the heck with it. I move it over so I can count. I'm not the brightest bulb in the Christmas tree. Like I said, I thought I had a rotating mat and I almost used it. And then I said, nah. That's what I should have been doing the whole time. Got a rotating mat, use it. And I will tell you this, I think a rotating mat is, it's not a must-have, but it really helps out. And here it is. Here's all my pieces. There were 7 different fabric types that I used to make this quilt. And you saw this yesterday. I'm just throwing that in here again. So that's all complete. And like I said, your key here is just to keep these two pieces lined right on top of each other, and that's it. Let the feed dogs do their job and pull your fabric through, and your job is just to keep the fabrics even, right on top of each other. And now right here's where I should use that the purple thing. There again, this was early on. Now here, you probably want to go down a little bit further than what I did right here, probably about an inch down. And it took me, like I said, the first couple of blocks weren't my best blocks, but I learned. And there again, you're not tugging on the fabric, you're just keeping them lined up. And I've got my seam guide there, so that keeps them together, sorta. But yeah, I'm just pulling my left hand over to keep it in line with the right. And like I said, if I had the purple thing right here, you would have seen that would have been a lot nicer. That's why I suggest you use some kind of stiletto or something to, is that a right word? Anyways, use something to guide that through that last little bit. And these curves, like I said, are gentle, so they're not extreme curves. So these fit together fairly nice. And I learned something on this one. As you curve, you're curving in right here until you get about halfway, and then you start curving out. So it sort of changes directions on you right here. I don't know if you can hear Steve in there. Just go nice and slow. Look, I'm so proud of myself. Now, I've been using steam in my iron, and it makes this set so nice. Now let me tell you the secret on this right here. Right here where these points meet, you want to make sure that you got a 1/4 inch. That is the most critical part of this block, is when you're cutting them out, you make sure that you're at a 1/4 inch. And I think I missed me cutting them, but you get the idea. They're pretty easy to cut. I'm trying to explain to you, I'm taking these and folding it over, and then look at me sewing the line. And there it is. What do you think of that? That one didn't, I mean, like I said, this was one of my first ones, so it didn't turn out the best. And you watch right there in the middle, you can get a little bit of a bump there, so be very careful. That's it. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Comment below, give me your thoughts about it. I appreciate you. Remember, after health, but before wealth, there's memories. So go out and make some memories, and I will see you later. Bye.